Good afternoon. It's Sunday, and it's nice outside, sunshine. Uh, Boy, that is, wow, can't believe it. It's getting close to supper time. I'm not going to be on here very long. I wanted to bring your attention to a video I looked at a little while ago this afternoon by Michael Volpe, and it has to do with an article that has been going on apparently by Megan Fox. You know, they were formerly, my understanding is Michael and Megan were friends at one time. At least it seems that way, and they've got crossways because of the case that he's been following recently that has to do with Bruce Matskin and Jeremy Hales and John and Lynette, or John and Michelle. And anyway, it seems like it's went crossways. But he came on there and he's doing an interview with somebody else that also knows Megan pretty well, I guess, or at least has followed her in the past, and said that she was, her relationship had been, as far as it was a professional type outlook, that she thought Megan was pretty good back at one time, and has since maybe not thought so much. And that happens over time because we are a product of what we did last. And we can do a lot of good things, but if we do something bad and we leave that taste in everybody's mouth, they're all going to look at you as being that person. And I guess it give me an insight somewhat of how people have gotten so crosswise. And it's kind of an example of taking somebody's word without the real proof in front of you. And then you get so convinced that no matter how much proof you're given, you won't change your mind. You have completely changed your whole outlook on the subject. And I don't know what can bring a person back around to looking at the facts. But I figured it was important enough that I put it out there today on my channel so that you could all partake in it if you want. Look it over. The part that is about Megan starts at about 13 minutes into the video. And I'm going to put it on here. You'll be able to look up above in the subject part of it, and you'll see it. I'll put the connection up there, and I will put it in my down below in the comment section as well. So there won't be any missing at all. But that's a big thing, is a shout out to Michael Volpe. I want to shout out to Richard Luthman. Now, you looked at his channel. He had some good things out there. And I'm sure you're going to want to visit his channel as well. And Michael and Richard worked together on some things. They work very well together. They kind of offset each other. And it's refreshing. Yeah, and I know everybody likes to take a shot at everybody that doesn't agree with them completely. And that happens on here regularly, so you're able to understand it a little bit, and hopefully the drama doesn't get you down. Okay, but I thought it was important that you looked at, outsiders look at this, but one of the main things I wanted you to look at was how the subject can be screwed up when you listen to nothing more than rumors or second or third hand information. And it has to do with Michelle and her little daughter. And we've all seen the proof about the what's going on there as far as the medical and also the adoption and stuff. So most of us have the good sense that we're going to take the documentation as being the real deal. And we've also listened to the doctor that's in charge of the services for their daughter, that she said that everything's being done like it's supposed to be. And that little girl is in fine shape. and that Michelle has been a responsible parent in this case. But when you go over this and you look at how this all come about, I also want you to see in there, part of that video has Jeremy Hales on there. And you get an idea of how things can really get cranked up. And you wonder what all the undercurrent is all about. You know, this boiling, you can feel it. And when I looked at it at the very beginning of the interaction between Jeremy and Megan, it almost, to me, it looked like it was pretty well scripted. And that's only just a feeling I got, you know, an opinion. But you'll have to form your own on it. And I think you may have seen this video before or parts of it, so don't want you to be surprised. Also, I want to give a shout out to creative crafters out there, Linda. I was going to get that recipe up for that chocolate cake, that moist chocolate cake my wife made, and I don't have it exactly down, okay? But I'm going to tell you how the start goes. You might be able to fill it in. It was a Betty Crocker chocolate, wet chocolate mix to begin with, okay, Betty Crocker. And then a chocolate pudding mix, and not the instant, but the one you have to put milk and cook it. But you're not going to do that, okay? And it takes a whole cup of oil, and vegetable oil, I guess, of some kind, and 4 big tablespoons of sour cream. And then you put the small chocolate chips. Remember now I'm saying small in there. And 4 eggs also go in there. What else we got? I think it was a half a cup of water, warm water. And you mix this mixture pretty much together, and then you put in your chips and mix them at the very last when you got it all going. Put it into a cake pan. And then depending on the type of pan, it'll take anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour to cook it. Use the old toothpick test on it. But here's the secret to the cake, from my perspective, okay? You don't need frosting on it, and we didn't on this one. Now, my wife and I, we like frosting, but not a lot on a cake usually. But because you're using small chocolate chips, and they're mixed throughout the cake, it's as if when you take a bite of the cake, not only is it moist, but you can taste the chocolate chips in there, and it feels just like if you had chocolate frosting in every bite throughout the bite, okay? So you put the chips in according to your taste. There's no real, you got to put this much in or that much. It's almost an experiment, and every time you make this cake, you're probably going to make it just a little bit different because, like I say, the secret is the oil and the chips. And the chips, the small ones like that, will suspend themselves throughout the batter, okay? And every bite will have a little bit of that taste. And it's going to be just as if you had some of that chocolate frosting throughout each bite that you take of this cake. Now, it took us approximately 4 days to eat the entire cake. And the last piece, now she keeps it in it's like a pan with a lid on it that's very tight. It keeps moisture in. In other words, it don't dry out. But the last piece was as good as the first piece, if not better. Of course, I like chocolate cake, and I like the idea of having some chocolate chips in there. Now, if you put the big chips in there, I'm not so sure it'll be the same. But the small ones, yeah, they will be. Like I say, every bite has a taste of chocolate frosting when you're thinking about it. And you're going to delight in it. Now, there may be, I think I got it all right. I mean, fix it like you normally would a box cake. You know, you're putting in the eggs and It's Betty Crocker's what she used. I was there when she picked that out. And the big package, she used the Jello brand of chocolate pudding. Okay, just powder. And, she mixed that in with the mix. And no, she didn't pre-beat it ahead of time, any of that stuff. And then, the oil goes in and half a cup of warm water. So I hope I got all that things right, and the 4 big tablespoons of sour cream in there. But it all goes in. It's good. Now, I'll have to look the recipe over better to make sure, but if you do much baking, you probably can figure something if I've misquoted on there. Oh, yeah, she baked it at 350 degrees, so that was the other part. So that's it, Linda. Creative Crafters, that was my shout-out to. I promised I was going to put it up on the next one, which would have been yesterday, and I didn't get around to it. But if you listen today, now you got it. For the rest of you out there, I hope you don't forget to go over there to Michael Volpe's channel, because actually the reason I came on today is I wanted to steer you in that direction. I'm assuming, but I don't know for a fact. But I'm thinking that 2 Leads in a Pot will be on there tonight, and they may even talk about that channel too as well. I'm thinking that maybe she got a copy of it, and that's about all I know about it. I did listen to it. It was very interesting. I think you'll get a new perspective of Megan Fox out of this, and you'll get to see it from more of a professional level. I'm by no means professional at all. Otherwise, I'd have just went ahead and put excerpts on here and let it go at that. But I'd rather you get it from the horse's mouth. And I'm not calling Michael a horse or anything like that. So don't go tattletaling on me. And I hope you all have a good Sunday today. This is one of my better days. Oh, you wouldn't believe it. I'll give you an idea. My lunch today, my wife, her and I like to pick up, it's pork. It's a light type pork. It's usually you can pick up, I think it's like a 5 or 6 pound slab of pork. Anyway, we make tenderloins, and we'll cut some of it off into 1/2 to 3/4 inch and season it up good and have it that way, or you can open it up and put a little bit of dressing inside of it and cook it and all kinds of stuff. But we like to make tenderloins out of it. It's a pork loin is what it's called. And the different stores will have it out there. We cut most of the fat off from it, and any gristle we can find in it. And then we take enough, we pound it out into real thin tenderloins, and we make tenderloin sandwiches. And I love it on regular buns, hamburger buns, and we'll put them too thick. In other words, 2/4 inch pieces of meat. And remember, they're pounded out pretty thin before you cook them, and they're breaded. Oh, anyway, we deep fry it, and then we have homemade fries with it, and we deep fry those. And you talk about good. It is absolutely the best. And whenever we have them, when I get up from the table, I'm so full. And we fry up enough fries. We usually take 2 medium-sized potatoes to make the fries, and each one of us will have the equivalent of a whole potato, along with that tenderloin sandwich, double stacked, and ketchup, tomatoes, and onions on it, and seasoned to taste, obviously, salt and pepper, whatever else you want on there, ketchup, whatever you want on there. And the interior sandwich is about a little better than, let's say it's about 3/4 and thick, and when everything's piled in there, and then you put your together. Yeah, it was a Sunday meal, fit for a king. Yeah. And then she cooked up some streusel cake. and it's setting out in the open out there too. Yeah, we're good. I'm going to have some of that tonight. Warm it up a little bit. Put a little bit of vanilla ice cream there beside it. Sometimes I like to have a little bit of ice cream with my cake or pie. It's going to be it's been a wonderful day today, I can tell you. And it's getting on towards supper time for everybody out there, so if you weren't hungry before I started, maybe you are by now. I guess all my meals are kind of a favorite. My wife is such a cook. If I had to do all over again, I'd marry her again, even if it was only for the cooking. She's that good. But all kidding aside, but after 60-some years, I think we probably are as much in love now, if not more, than when we met. So it can last a lifetime for you. You just have to appreciate each other and the skills, and overlook the things that you don't particularly care for, and you'll forget all about those things because there's so many good things to think about a couple that you don't have to think about anything else. You ever think about that? That's using the old noggin. Now, speaking of that, use your noggin when you watch that show that I'm promoting today. Michael Volpe put it out there. I'll put the link in there so that you can link right up to it. It'll make you so happy. And with that, as John Cook says, ta-ta, everyone.